Hey Sagittarius, welcome to your first half of February reading. This is a general reading, so feel free to check your sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs as you please. Take what resonates and leave the rest. I have information in the description box below, so you can get more information on the decks that I'm using in this reading, as well as if you'd like to donate, how to do so, as well as how to book a one-on-one session with me for a more personalized experience. So let's hop into your reading and go from there. Even just the way that I'm shuffling the cards, I feel like you really are tightening things up. There may be a bit of balancing, a bit of centering that's going on, needing to take place, like a cleansing of some sort. You've had a lot of things arise and you're starting to see things a bit more clearly, seeing the ways in which you take action, how it affects your results. So learning new ways to move forward in the world and on your path. So let's see, pull one more card. All right, so we have the Five of Pentacles reversed. You've moved on to something else. For a while, it almost felt like you were out there just kind of searching out on your own, kind of left in the cold. Things felt really bleak, but I think now you're kind of finding your way towards something new. Really changing your environment, work, career, home, or otherwise. You're really making a shift in some way where you felt perhaps really kind of iced out, really kind of frozen. Maybe you've been unwilling to make any movement forward or have stopped things completely. And it could be that certain things are kind of getting in your way, getting in your eye line that were distracting or perhaps irritating you. And something that was irritating you, maybe, that left you kind of immobile for some time. Maybe you felt like you wasted a little bit of time, so you had to put things on pause for a minute, even though the pressure was kind of on, right? Because then we have the Seven of Wands, and so now you're getting to this high ground. It's not like you're really having to defend yourself or your choices. It's like you've really fought maybe yourself or some of these circumstances in order to get away and to start making the way forward. Feelings of defeat, perhaps, that you've had to overcome. Really making sure, checking to see who's in your corner, checking to see anything that might have been looked over and how certain events weave together in order to bring you to higher realizations so you can see the way forward in what feels like perhaps a complicated matter, something that maybe feels kind of out of your hands. I feel like there's some type of separation or something that you've had to go through. You've had to maybe withhold from enjoying certain things, in order to claim whatever it is that you're working toward, whatever it is that you're growing or building. It's like before, maybe you weren't making those same types of sacrifices, and however they turned out have allowed you to kind of refocus. We have this Five of Swords, so usually gaining some type of clarity. Whatever happened to you emotionally, it really brought you to a place of realization to now where you're able to make a decision, a changing of the tide, so to speak. And so now you don't have your head underwater as much. You're able to gain some ground again, and it's almost like you're trying to catch up with time, trying to get things back on track somehow. Yeah, we have the Seven of Swords. It's like someone kind of stole something away from you, maybe a little bit bitter about it. Maybe you're regretting some type of decision that you made somehow. And we have the Judgment card, and so it's like now you know better and you're going to do better, and so right now you're making up for that. With that clarity, you're making up for it. Now that you see the way, you hear the sound, you know it's calling to you, and you're moving forward with it. We have the Ace of Wands, something that you weren't accepting before, you're now willing to take into your hands, and it feels, it almost feels kind of bad. It feels kind of naughty. I don't know. It felt like something before that you shouldn't have done, or maybe you were hesitant to do. Maybe something that you felt like you wouldn't be good or would ruin something. Yeah, because then we have this Eight of Wands, and it's like something that you slowly came around to, something where you perhaps were waiting on something that just didn't come. And so it's like the universe kind of had to push you into a situation to put everything else on hold, and in order for you to get into a space where you could recognize what was important again. For some reason they want me to pull two more. I'm going to pull two more. Oh, we have three more. Very interesting. All right, so we have the Ten of Wands reversed, letting go of something, releasing some type of burden. And then we have the Page of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles, and they're both reversed. I almost feel like the Page of Wands should be upright. That's what it feels like to me. I feel like you're this Page of Wands energy, moving blindly into something, really being guided by passion. There was something that you wanted to have, but maybe you were too nervous to speak out on. There were some challenges you were trying to soften, perhaps, by being open to this. Maybe you were being misled to some degree, but it was really you just imagining things that weren't really there, and kind of like getting your paws into something that you just couldn't grasp fully, feeling a little disillusioned. Then we have this Queen of Pentacles, and it's someone here that isn't really thankful for anything. It's like maybe they take and take and take and take and take without much sense of gratitude or acceptance or recognition of, you know, what's holding them up, what's supporting them. It's like someone that feels like they act like they're really self-made, but they're really kind of self-involved, maybe a little bit narcissistic, maybe a little bit I don't know, they let stuff roll off of them, so they don't really do a lot of self-reflection, very self-involved, perhaps loving the self a little too much, and therefore kind of like having this air of like, you know, whatever. And they use almost, it's like they're spiritual, but they use it kind of as a weapon. They use it kind of as a way to disarm people, and it could just be like they kind of only show kind of half of who they are. There's always something being kind of held back when it comes to them. We have this Nine of Pentacles reversed, and it's someone who isn't willing to hold space or share space with another in some way. It's best to kind of just rise above it and continue to grow and operate and view it from a higher perspective, to flourish from a higher perspective. It's like, you know, you got to be able to see this in order for you to grow on a much higher path that's meant for you. All right, so let us pull a few more cards here to help kind of bring clarity to this situation. All right, Five of Pentacles. Ooh, there's a lot of stuff wanting to come out. Five of Pentacles. All right, so, oh dear, that card. It fell down. Where did it go? Oh my. Okay. That was interesting. Seven of Swords again. So this Five of Pentacles, whatever kept you frozen has now kind of showed you the way in which you get in your own way. So whenever you feel like things aren't moving along, it's like, okay, well, what are you hoping for? What is the intention here? What are you trying to do that perhaps is working against the progress that you're attempting to make, right? And it's like kind of moving your resources and your mind somewhere else, some type of distraction. And here we have the marriage union card, could perhaps be the Lovers with the Seven of Swords. And with me, it's like, all right, how do you choose to rise above this? What ideas are you married to? And what position does that put you in? Having to come to terms with that. You know, what's the vow here? What are you dedicating yourself to here? Paying attention to that, and that's kind of what helped you realize that. It's like maybe, you know, where you were frozen, it was because your spirit didn't want to give you any more information. Because maybe they didn't want you to share that with this person who's not opening up, right? This person who's withholding so much, because you give. You like to share, you like to engage, you like to exchange ideas, and maybe they didn't want to give you this next idea until you come to terms with the fact that this is not the person. All right. So then we have the Five of Wands with the Three of Cups. There's some type of conflict, things not fitting quite right, at a crossroads, people having different aims or goals or wanting to pin down different things, just really not seeing eye to eye here. End of a period. All right, and then we have, interesting, it's like kind of like this general here in the Five of Swords. So it's like really needing to make a battle plan now. Probably there's some type of like, all right, I'm ready. I'm ready now to get back to things as planned. I'm ready to kind of crack things open where I've once felt blocked or locked. I'm now really ready, willing to bust through this. It's almost like your guides helping you now. It's like you're gonna almost have like an upgrade to your third eye, an upgrade to clarity, an upgrade in understanding, and now you're gonna have a game plan to go with it. Something that allows you to move forward. You're gonna be really guided through this time once you are brought to this realization and fully accept it. All right, here we have prudence with the Seven of Swords. So again, it's like, yeah, you probably were not supposed to share whatever this brilliant thing is, this game plan. You got to keep it to yourself because there's someone who may be spreading gossip or rumors about you, someone who lacks balance, someone who really is fighting to maintain their energy or their hold on something, and it's unhealthy, it's not balanced. There's and you're kind of like, you represent some type of like death or ending to this person. I don't know, it's very interesting. All right, and we have this kind of Queen of Cups figure in Judgment, and so it's like now you're really kind of paying attention to what you're invested in. It's like I feel like you're getting a lot of transmissions in through the crown. Perhaps you're going to be doing a lot of reading, a lot of writing. There's a lot of knowledge being gained, and it's all tied to your emotional healing with whatever happened here. This signifies something really bigger. Perhaps the ways in which you really blindly overworked yourself, or worked through things without really having an idea of where to go next, or with a certain destination in mind, but not really taking into account what is actually being shown to you. All right, so we have the Eight of Pentacles with the Ten of Wands. So by letting this go, you're offering space for you to really work more internally in order to master the self, in order to recognize how you perhaps get in your own way, perhaps where you're a little bit hard-headed or dualistic in the ways in which you move through things. Really being able to unify, bringing all your stuff together into one really solid and structured form. And this Page of Wands, we have the the Seven of Pentacles, sorry. So you're really invested in yourself, you're really invested in offering yourself this new beginning. And you were at one point really invested in whatever this was that you were blind to. But now I feel like you're going to be moving forward, and you're going to see results from this very quickly. And it's almost gonna make a mockery of this other person who had these assumptions of you, and who refused to open up to you, maybe because they thought that you wanted the wrong things from them. Maybe, there's some mistrust there. With this Queen of Pentacles here, we have the Seven of Cups. This is, representing someone who's made their choice, who works from a place of, imagined threats or fantasy. Someone who operates from a place of fantasy, not really grounded or rooted in anything. They really do deceive themselves in many ways. We have this King of Wands too, and it's like there's someone who can really take action, but there's some type of like, I don't know, it seems like there's this weird kind of, it's like they're in disguise. Yeah, it feels like there's someone that's just in disguise. They're not wholly themselves, and they create things kind of as a mask, without because they don't fully know themselves, and therefore don't want other people to know themselves, and they don't bother to figure it out because it's much easier to manufacture this image of self, because it allows them some type of power. And they're afraid of what would happen next. They wouldn't feel capable of hunting down whatever they have their sights on otherwise. Okay. Oracle card. The earth delights to feel your bare feet, and the winds long to play with your hair. All right, let's read this one. This is from the Prophet Oracle card set. All right, number 15. Okay. Your clothes conceal much of your beauty, yet they hide not the unbeautiful. And though you seek in garments the freedom of privacy, you may find in them a harness and chain. Would that you could meet the sun and the wind with more of your skin and less of your raiment, for the breath of life is in the sunlight, and the hand of life is in the wind. So this is something about maybe both of you weren't really showing up fully. Maybe there's a lot that you've got to wake up to in terms of how beautiful, what it is that you have to offer and your energy, and pay attention to those who really try to project as much beauty as they can because they lack it. They lack the ability to see the beauty in others or themselves. And it could be maybe you're not seen a certain way. You're not seen for how beautiful you truly are, because you've been around a lot of people who are unwilling to recognize that within themselves. So anywho, that is what I have for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, descriptions of the cards are down below, so you can check them out a bit further. If you feel like donating, that information's down there. And if you'd like further clarity, a more personalized reading, the link is down below as well. Thank you so much, and until next time.